Hello. I have decided to make a YouTube channel, so lucky you. This is my dog, Penelope. She is the sweetest dog. She is a Cane Corso, and she's about 4 years old, and she eats a lot. And I love cooking, so I figured why not cook for Penelope? For Penelope! Yeah. So I'm gonna start cooking for her. So a lot of what humans eat is edible for dogs as well. There are some things that we all know about, like onions and garlic and chocolate, that should not be eaten by dogs, but also avocados and macadamia nuts and uncooked carbs and things like that. So I think if I make this like a real YouTube channel, I'll probably do a full video of like things that dogs can and can't eat or should and shouldn't eat. But as for right now, we're gonna keep it kind of casual. And I'm gonna make today, I went to a local grocery store called Ohio City Provisions, and they had some beautiful steak. So I'm gonna make a steak on my little grill on my patio and maybe roast up some mushrooms, and I have some giant carrots and some beets. So I don't really know what I'm gonna use, but I'm going to make food out of them and then have a nice little dinner with my quarantine buddy, Penelope. Okay, so it is 1 o'clock, which means I have the distinct advantage of having thought about what I wanted to make for dinner before I actually start making it, which is very rare for me. So I'm gonna use all of this extra time to make a marinade for my steak, which I am then going to cook on my tiny grill, which right out there on my patio, which is all dirty because I was not prepared. And you might think that when I decided to record something that invited the whole world into my apartment, I might clean it or tidy up my patio, but I don't really feel like it. So welcome to this. What I have here is my steak, which is a blade flap steak, and it weighs about 1 pound, which is probably not enough for Penelope for a meal. So typically when I am splitting a meal with her, I will like offset it with her kibble because she eats about 8 cups of kibble a day. So anyway, I have a blade flap steak. I have some carrots, some giant oyster mushrooms, and then I have some ramps, which Penelope will not have any of because they are alliums, like garlic and onion and leek, and things from that category are not good for dogs. And then I have some spices, red pepper flakes, some dried oregano, turmeric and fenugreek, salt, pepper, and my El Cheapo olive oil. So I'm gonna make a little marinade for the steak. So also, I would probably, if I was cooking this just for me, I would put like some crushed garlic in this marinade, but Penelope can't have that, right? Every time she sees me in the kitchen, she's like, I'm getting some food. So my marinade is gonna be some olive oil and champagne vinegar and red chili pepper. I like things spicy. Penelope doesn't love things spicy, so I tone down the spice when we're sharing food. A little bit of fenugreek, some dried oregano, and turmeric. And then I'm gonna salt and pepper the steak. So here's another thing, is that dogs can't handle that much salt. And so like a dog is a little bit more susceptible to heart disease, and the water retention that you get with salt, it adds to that risk of heart disease with dogs. So I'm going light on the salt, and I can always just add more salt to mine later. And some black pepper. And then I'm just gonna throw it in. So I'm gonna kind of just give it a little smoosh. And then I'm going to add these to, this is actually the bag that my carrots came in from the grocery store. So I'm just gonna throw this in there and get out air so there's contact. And then throw it in the fridge. And then I'm gonna grill it later. And I've never grilled mushrooms, but like, screw it. Why not? So I have an update. I live in Cleveland, Ohio, where for some reason has now begun to snow. So instead, I'm going to take my carrots and I'm going to shave them into a little salad, and I'm gonna take my ramps and I'm gonna roast them along with the mushrooms, and then I'm going to use my cast iron pan to sear the steak and then cook it for like a minute. I like my steak rare. So I'm gonna sear it and then maybe cook it for like a minute in the oven, or maybe not, I don't know, I'm gonna try to figure it out. Washing these giant carrots. I never peel my root vegetables. I just wanna get all the dirt off. And you know what, I think I'm gonna roast these carrots too. Because, screw it. So what should I do? Maybe we'll cut. So I'm gonna take these, put them on a pan. I'm gonna preheat my oven actually. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do first is this. Okay. So I'm preheating my oven to 375, which is a temperature that I just feel good about. And I'm going to cover these in olive oil and a tiny bit of salt and some pepper and maybe some like fennel seed. Let's see what's in the spice cabinet. Yeah, fennel, red pepper, salt and pepper. Carrots. I washed this, don't worry. There's no steak juice on it. Olive oil, fennel seed, which is like my favorite thing in the whole world. Throw that on there. I like red pepper flakes, pepper, and some salt. Carrots are prepped and they're only on half the pan because I'm going to put my ramps and my mushrooms on this half. I'm gonna stage it out how they're cooked. And yeah, I think I'm gonna put them in for like 10 or 15 minutes. And then, okay, Penelope, come here. Pete, come. Hey, Google, shut up. Okay, the mushrooms are on there, so I think I'm gonna put them in for like 7 or 8 minutes. My ramps are nice and washed, and I'm gonna put some olive oil on them and a tiny bit of salt, and then that's it. And then my steak is out of the fridge. Penelope heard steak and she got excited. Penelope, get back on your bed. Pee, bed, bed. Thank you. So I'm gonna cook the steak in my cast iron skillet here, which is probably too small, but meat and most proteins shrink when you cook them. So it'll only be too small for a couple seconds and then it'll be fine. Ramps are on. I'm gonna put them in. I think that they're gonna take a little bit longer than I was thinking. So I'm probably gonna put them in for like 5 or 6 minutes and just keep an eye on them. And then when I pull them out, I'll get the steak. But I'm gonna put my heat on for my cast iron and I'm gonna put it kind of high because this is a pretty thin piece of meat. And I like the inside to be rare and I really just wanna sear the outside and call it a day. So I think if I do a high temperature, for less time, I can get some nice goodness on the outside of this piece, but not overcook the inside. It all looks really good. I shouldn't have the oven open. So we're waiting on this. Gonna put some oil in it. It's looking great. She's looking great. Okay, this is hot, so I'm gonna put the steak on. She's searing. I'm gonna give it a sec because I really want this side to be like nice and seared and crispy, and then I'll flip it. Okay, so this has been on for like a minute and it looks really good. And I'm gonna flip her over and give her like maybe 2 minutes on this side. In the meantime, thinking this is about as done as I want it to be. So now I'm gonna take her, I'm gonna put her over here. and let it rest for like 5 minutes. Ooh. Our veggies are out of the oven. They look and smell so good. Wow, I'm super excited. So basically what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna cut this steak up against the grain, which is pretty much exactly how I want it, which is rare or medium rare. I'm gonna take I'm gonna be a little greedy and give Penelope a smaller portion because I already fed her half of her dinner in kibble and I really want this bigger piece, so fuck it. I'm gonna give her a mushroom, which is still really hot, but look how nice and like brown that is. Oh, it's so good. What if we do this? And then give her some nice little carrots. Owie, that's hot. So here's a nice little plate for Penelope. Here's dinner. I put ramps on mine. You know, it could be plated nicer, but I don't care. Ta-da! Man, I really want to give this to her sitting at the dining table, but I feel like I'm just gonna teach her bad manners if I have her sit at the dining table, so I'm not gonna. Come here. Sit. Leave it. Okay. Go to town, straight for the meat. She wrecked it. Penelope, did you enjoy it? Watch out, watch my plate. Woo! Clean plate club. Thank you for watching my video. I hope that you cook with your dog. It's kind of fun. You know, especially when there's nothing else to do and you're stuck in quarantine. Bye.